Okay, so we're going to bring up our next speaker. Our next speaker is a very interesting person. He's had a vast amount of experience. He started his first business when he was 7 years of age, and it was actually selling horse poo. So he started down at the bottom. Current owner of 6 businesses, has experience in manufacturing, importing, wholesaling, and also retailing. He's had industry experience in construction, marine, motor vehicles, hospitality, and also education. This gentleman also sits on the board of 21st Century Group and is also the personal business and mentor of Jamie McIntyre. He's a fantastic individual, a lot of experience. Please welcome to the stage my friend and a friend of 21st Century, Mr. Simon Scott. Put your hands together for him.
That's great. Who was here yesterday? Whoa, good attendance. And who's got their own business? Who works in a business? Who wants to have their own business? Who knows of a business? Okay. Business is what? Business is a system that is repeated to create the same result every time. That's all a business is. You want to buy a business, start a business, sell a business, you're selling a system. What I'm here today to teach you, or to share with you, Jamie's invited me here today to share with you what I know, what I talk to other people about. I'm not a public speaker, so please forgive me if I'm not as fluent and flowing as the other great speakers you've had yesterday and you will have over the weekend. But I'm here just to share what I know with you and hopefully just have a conversation with you about matters, the things that matter to me about making a business successful. We have many, many cases of business failing in Australia. Most of the time it's friends and family money that's lost in the process, and we want to make sure that if we have an understanding of the structures, we can make a plan and try to avoid some of the trappings that have caused businesses to fail in the past. The stats you hear from different people all the time. There's a lot of stats out there. In 5 years, 90% of businesses will fail. In 10 years, 99%. Most businesses don't make $1 million turnover. The average turnover of business within 5 years, or 4 or 5 years, is about $250,000 per annum. There's 2.16 million businesses active in Australia at the moment, according to the stats released in August. And well, I own 6 of those, so you can imagine just how many business owners there are. I know 21st Century Group's got at least 21. So you've got to look at the way that the structures work to understand that the multiple of failures is not necessarily the multiple of people who are failing. Businesses close down. Those stats on the 90 to 99%, they include businesses that are closing, not just failing. Failing, I term as taking money, owing money. Closing could be a number of reasons. There's legitimate reasons to close a business. And it could be end of the business cycle. It could be the end of the product range. There's a lack of supply, shift in market. For instance, a record company, a vinyl record company, would they still be existing now? Yes. Yeah? No. So as a result, that business would be closing, not failing. Would you agree with that? Okay, so look, I want to talk to you today about the cycle and the seasons of business as well. And there's business cycles and there's cycles of business. The cycles of business are the stages that we go through to create business and to create a successful business that's sustainable. The business cycles are products, ideas, themes, things that we could do as our business, activities that we create in our business. So can I have a slide, please? I want to explain to you how I see business. So for me, what is business? It's a verb. It's a busy mess. It's something we're doing. It's not something that is a thing, a noun that is business. Most people come to me and say, I want to be a business person. I want to have a business. It's not an entity that you have. It's something you do. And that's why it's a system. And it's got to be consistent. Warren talked to you about McDonald's earlier. McDonald's is the most successful business because it has systems. A 16-year-old kid can do what a 35-year-old chef could do. Consistently make a messy hamburger. But the thing is that they have the core, they have the same material, the same raw material every time. The beef supplied by the same company or same source. Throughout the world, they have a consistent formula. They have the buns. When the buns first came to Australia, who liked them? Very few people, because they had so much sugar in them. They were different to our bread rolls here. But very quickly, Australia acclimatised to these new changes, and the product became successful. But the consistency is what kept the brand, and that's why it's one of the most successful businesses in the world. A really, really strong influence in my life is Michael Gerber. Have you even heard of the E-Myth? Yeah. In a business, you need an entrepreneur, you need a manager, and you need a technician. Now, all of us are those things. However, we have a strength or a leaning towards one of those things, which is our core talent. So in a business, if you have just an entrepreneur, do you think an entrepreneur is going to successfully run a business? Or is an entrepreneur going to continually create ideas, change direction, and move around until they find something that actually hits the jackpot? Which is the most likely situation for an entrepreneur, to hit the jackpot first time or to move around until he finds the outcome. Yeah. A technician, are they more likely to move around or stay in one place and make it work? Yeah. And a manager is a manager. Without, you can have something that works, you can have an idea that hits the target, but without someone to manage it, is your business going to have a high chance of success, or is it going to have more chance of failure? Okay, and this is just the core base of how any business runs. If you're in a partnership, is anyone here in a partnership? Okay. Partnerships are something that are fantastic if the people in the partnership are one of the three, not two the same. If you've got two entrepreneurs, you're going to have conflict. If you've got two technicians, you're going to have conflict. Less conflict because they tend to work together and to get a better result. Two managers, how many ways are there to manage a business? 1 or 20? So it's about, management's about style, and should be about result. And so you can have many different ways to achieve the same result. Without a product, without a system, without a management style or structure, your business is going to stay where it is with you. Now, I've just got we'll go on to the cycle of the business. What do you think is necessary to start a business? Give me some ideas. If I'm going to start a business, I've got nothing, I'm working and I'm going to go out and start a business. I've got something. What do I have? Capital, okay. What else do I have? Pardon? A plan? Yeah. What else do I have? Yeah. What else do I have? What is it? Marketing? Or market or marketing? Market, yeah. What else do I have? Vision. What else do I have? Sorry? Balls. Okay. Oh, let's call that courage, yep. What else do I have? Yourself. You have yourself, so you have a resource, okay, yourself. What else? What is it? Team. You have a team, okay. What else do I have? A system. What else would I have? Structure. And what else would I have? Yeah. What else would I have? You're missing one thing so far. What else would I have? What's the key thing I need to start a business? That comes afterwards. What is the key thing I need to start a business? A what? Domain name. You guys are good. You're very, you know what, you're very sophisticated, but I'm asking a very simple question here. Thank you. Who said that? This guy. All right, where is he? Here. Oh, thank you. Right. This is what you need, the idea or a concept. What are you going to take to the market? What are you going to do with your business? Yes, you need everything we've written down here, but they come at different stages of the business. So, I believe that the first thing you need is an idea. I also then believe that you need that, which is your purpose. If you can collate and make your idea your purpose, then combine passion, then you will have you'll have a 99% chance of success, because you are not doing this for a reason other than money. If your only purpose of running a business, owning a business, doing business is to make money, I can almost guarantee you'll fail. Now, we've heard the speakers yesterday talk about integrity, how the social market, social media and the market share information. That's going to happen in any business from this point forward. It already has happened. If you don't have integrity, if you're only in it for money, you're going to have a higher chance of failure than success. Does that make sense? Yeah. Do we agree with that? Okay. So there are questions that we ask ourselves habitually. We ask ourselves questions in life. We have a primary question, it's called, that runs the way we operate in our lives. We also have situation-specific or business-specific questions we ask ourselves. And my questions I'll bring up at the end of the presentation. But if my question was, how do I make money from this? My answers would be very limited. Do you agree? If my question was, how do I add value to this? Am I going to have a broad range of concepts that I can explore and give my team to develop? Which one? We're going to have a broad range. Okay. What does Apple do when they create product? Do they sit down and say, this is what we're going to give the market? Or do they look at what the market's got and look at technology available and work out how to produce it? The latter. Yeah, because this is what we have to do in business. You heard Jamie yesterday talk about Jay Abrahams. Jay Abrahams has 3 ways to grow a business, but he also has one other great philosophy. He says, listen to what they want, go and get it, and give it to them. How simple is that for business? Listen to what they want, go and get it, and give it to them. My business, my current business, turns over nearly $6 million. It's 3.5 years old, and I did exactly that. I listened to what the market wanted, I went and got it, and I gave it to them, and they responded. It's that simple, and it can be that quick. My business is an overnight success. It only took me 35 years to make it because I used what I've learned, and that's what I want to share with you. Now, I've had businesses since I was, in fact, I consider myself to be in business my whole life because I actually sold my services. I delivered my business, me incorporated, to my employers when I was young, because I owned what I did. I owned what I would give them, and I owned what I took away from them. And this is something, even if you're working for somebody, if you've got an ownership mentality, you're going to succeed. You're going to be accelerated through that company. I was promoted to the general manager of a company at 22. I went in there as a part-time delivery driver for 2 weeks while I was at uni, and I wrote him a report at the end of those things. This is how your business could improve. This is what's wrong. And he said, when you finish uni, can you come back and work for me? I said, no, not interested. Thanks. Bye-bye. And within my circumstances changed. Our family had a business, went broke, lost everything. I dropped out of uni, and all of a sudden I needed a job. So I went back to him and I said, hey, is that job still available? He said, yep. But I was a terrible manager. This is what I talk about a lot, styles. I was a terrible manager. I can do it, why can't you do it? Instead of, because I had no vision about what had to be done. I was in there managing a mess instead of creating something, creating a system and a structure. And this is what I want to share with you. If we go in looking for what's wrong, we will find what's wrong. If we go in there with a vision, a purpose, a passion, we're going to have a different result, a completely different result, and we're going to empower people. And that's the thing, that's the most critical thing when you've got staff that I learned. Okay, so we've got all these lists of things here about what we need. Yes, we definitely need capital. There's no doubt about it. But where does that normally come from when you're starting a business, from the first stage? From where? From your savings, from your family, friends. Very hard to get an investor, isn't it, when you've got an idea or a concept. You've seen the shows Dragon's Den, other entrepreneurs, young inventors, or the ABC show, where people pitch ideas. And it's very, very hard to get even a good idea off the ground. But we've heard the internet's a very good way to do that, haven't we? You don't need somebody, and you don't need a lot of capital anymore, because if you've got something that works, and you put it out there, what's the chances that someone's going to pick it up? Because it works. And it's all about, what do people want? So if the more attuned you are to what they want, the more chance you have of success. Okay, we have a plan. I have seen people spend their first seed capital on a $20,000 business plan, and the business hasn't even seen the light of day. Who agrees that that's a good use of money? Okay. Get something going before you spend money on structure. A technician will spend too much money on a plan. Get it going and then work out what has to happen. What's the first thing you need when you do a business? You are what? You are trading. You're buying something, you're selling something. If you don't get it, if you don't sell it and you don't produce income, is it a sustainable business? Right. So I'm sorry if I'm not being facetious, and I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm just talking to you about the concept that many people come to me. I have people come to me and ask me about startup businesses. They come to me with businesses that are operating. Most of the time they're not operating well, and sometimes I get people who ask me to rescue businesses. Very, very rarely do I get businesses that are operating absolutely properly to ask for advice on how to operate their business. Because why? They're doing it properly. They don't need anything else. Some people are a bit cautious. They bring you in to ask, how's it going? Others are just straight up, it's okay, it's fine. And then they've got the right structure, it is. Okay, now, have I got any? No, there, okay. The other thing I'd like to talk to you about in business, most people who come to me and start a business, or want to start a business, they're doing it for a lifestyle. I'll have more freedom. Who thinks you're going to have more freedom if you own your own business? You can. You can. You're absolutely correct. Right. Absolutely correct. The answer is you can. Who thinks you're going to work harder if you have your own business? Yeah. Well, you tend to, because you're passionate. Right? And will you work harder for yourself than you will for your boss? As a rule. And the downside, what's the downside of that? If you're working harder? You get caught up and you get stuck. When I first started, I'll go back to the poo business. We had horses out the back. I lived in Flemington over here, and the freeway wasn't even there, and there was horses, and they were the horses that were racing at Flemington Racecourse. They just them there, and one day I saw we were driving down past Geelong, down to a place in Port Arlington, down past Geelong on the Bellarine Peninsula, and I saw someone selling horse poo. I thought, $2 a bag, that's pretty cool. So I said, I've got horse poo out the back. So I just grabbed some sacks, took it out the front fence, sat at the front gate, put $2 on it. Hey, can you deliver that? Yeah. Can you lay it for me? Oh, another $1? Yeah. Okay. So I had a business. So all of a sudden, I was wearing Levi jeans, Miller shirts at 7 years old. Pretty cool, eh? $40 pair of shoes. Oh, the big platform ones. And I was only about 5'6" then. But seriously, the opportunity was there. Now, why did I stop that business? Because I got bored. It didn't juice me anymore. I didn't do it for passion, I did it for money. I did it because I saw an opportunity and I copied. I didn't have the drive. So when I started that business, I didn't have the purpose, I didn't have the passion. And that's why I believe that I let that business go. Now, I've done it in the past as well. I've normally buy businesses that are absolutely got a good business opportunity in the right market, but they have poorly run. Tidy them up and flick them on. I'm a terrible caretaker. I used to be a manager. I was very bad at it, so I realised that. And rather than bring in managers to run businesses in the past, I have done it myself and then flick them on. Now I don't. I have businesses and I direct traffic. And that's what I want all of you to get to, the stage of comfort where you have a work style that is a lifestyle instead of working. Because someone asks me how many hours a week I work, I don't know, because I don't consider it work. I have my office, and I have my residence, which is normally seat 3A, and I travel. I'm home since September. I've been home for about 6 days. I live on the Gold Coast now, and I enjoy what I do. I've got a business in China, and that took 7 years to get that to a stage where it was profitable, and it's very, very healthy now. But if I knew what I know now, I could have done it in about 6 months. But this learning curve. So what I want to do is try and introduce you to shorten the learning curves for you. Okay, so we need a business plan, we need product, we need marketing, we need vision, we need courage, we need resource of staff, yourself or team, we need systems, we need structure, passion, brand. Okay, if we start a business, what's the first thing that we have to assess when we start a business? Our idea is there, our passion's there, our drive is there, we've got some money. What do we have to assess? Market needs, thank you. We're meeting market needs. What else do we have to assess? Demand. Excellent. What else do we have to assess? Competition. Thank you. Risk. What is the risk? What's our competition? What is the barrier to entry of this business? How easy is it to get into this business? If it's financial planning, you have to have a license. So there's a bit of if it's a legal firm, then you have to have a degree. If it's medicine, you have to have a degree. What is the barrier to entry for your business? What stops somebody from seeing what you're doing and coming in and doing exactly the same thing? We saw this with opportunists. There's business people and there's opportunists. The home insulation industry had business people in it, but what happened when the government created a grant? All the opportunists flocked there. Now the grant's gone, where are the opportunists gone? Where are the next grants available? Okay? This is what they're following flow. Now there's trends and there are fads. And what we have to do in business is learn what is a trend and what is a fad. Because if we follow fads, we're not going to go very far. The cycle of our business will be very short. Or a business cycle will be very short. If we follow a trend, we're going to be able to move up. Trends don't die overnight. You get a chance like a Tarzan vine to get the next one and swing on. And you continually move your business with flow. The challenge is picking a trend and a fad. Most businesses that one of my pet businesses is in the construction industry. We supply flooring. And my opposition have left me the biggest roller door to drive B-doubles through without anyone seeing me because they thought what I was doing was a fad, but I knew it was a trend. So I got a foothold in the market 3 years ahead of them because they thought it was a fad. So it's about listening to what the market wants. If everyone's asking you for it, is it likely to be a fad? No, it's more likely to be a trend. Okay? And often trends don't have stats to back them up because they're not historic. So you've got to use your nous, and that's where your passion, your purpose comes into it. We've talked about lifestyle and work balance. And that's something that is probably the most critical part of business. If it's not enjoyable, if it's not fun, please don't do it. Please don't do it because you're going to hurt yourself, your family, your friends. You're not going to have what you want. Some people, like my manager, I've got some great staff. But my manager said to me, I said, do you want to take over this business? You want to get involved? He said, no way, I don't want to do what you do. I'm happy just to do this. Now, is that a perfect person for me? Yeah. Do I reward him? Yeah. Do I meet all his needs at the highest level? Yeah. Why? Because he's told me. He's told me what he wants, and I'm giving it to him. Is that fair? So does that work as well? All right. So there's stories that we tell. There's strategies we develop from those stories, and we either have success or we have a result from those stories or strategies. So what I'm telling you here is my story, and what I'm now going to give you is some strategies that I use. How about that? Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, I'll have to go over this one. We have, like life, a business is born. Now, you can join This, in a business, you can join it at any stage. You can buy a business. I'm going to talk to you about starting a business, and then we'll go through the concepts. From these concepts, you can then choose where you want to start a business or whether you want to buy a business. How's that sound? Okay? All right. Now, when we're starting a business, it's called birth, okay? What we need at birth is an idea. We don't have a system yet. We don't have a plan. We just have the risk assessment. We say, okay, will it work? And will I be able to survive? Will I meet my own needs? Because basically, that's where a mum and dad small business starts. Generally, it could even be a mechanic says, okay, I can do what the boss does and I'll start my own business. Or a salesman's uncle says, hey, listen, son, I'll give you the product. You can do that for me instead of your boss. Okay, no problem. So I just need to make sure that I can meet my needs. Can I get the money I'm getting now, or can I survive if I go and start my own business? And I'm managing myself. I've got no one else to tell me what to do. And what does that generally mean? Freedom. Yeah. Also, a bit of like a discipline in my case. You know, start work at 11, finish at 3, nice day, go to the beach. You know, there's lots of, I was meeting my needs doing that. So in the birth of a business, the baby is born. Now, when a baby's born, first of all, and I'm really see businesses like this, okay? So I'm sharing, if I'm off the track for you guys, please put up with me, because businesses are living organisms to me. So you have a baby, and now, who's had children? Who was a child? Okay. When you are planning a baby, it's all this anticipation. Oh, I'm going to have a baby. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. I wonder what it's going to look like. I wonder what they'll grow up to be. And you have all these ideas, and that's what your baby business is. All these ideas, all these concepts, all this passion, all this connection, all these dreams and ideals. That's where you're going to go with this business, this concept, this baby. And the baby comes out and looks pretty ugly. Oh, yeah, okay. Does it get any better? And then you somehow, all that switches off and you love this thing, this yucky thing. Because sometimes your baby is not what you think it's going to be, in the reality. And that baby comes out and there's your business, and you go to work one day and it's just not what you wanted it to be. Okay, but when it is what you want it to be, and you can't give it back, so this is the other thing about your business, you can't give it back. You've got to find a strategy, a way through. You've got to ask yourself another series of questions. So the outcome of this is that the baby burps, and you go, oh, isn't that fantastic? It burped, oh, the baby poops its pants. Oh, look at that, its first poop. Woo. And you are really accepting and excited about everything. No, it's not what happened. Well, it was in my case, yeah, because someone else cleaned it up. Get yourself a manager. Yeah, you were the manager. But look, you know, when you're doing all the work, it's not as much fun. This is exactly where we're coming from. It gets tiring. It gets hard. And you find that there's more poop than there is laughter and joy. There's no more giggles and smiles anymore. It's just all poop and crying. Okay? And that's what can happen in a baby business. So what do we do? What's one of the options with a baby that we can't give back? How would we rescue that baby on our sanity? We get a nanny. Thank you. So who would be a nanny in a baby business? A mentor, yes, that could possibly be a strategy, yeah, and you can invite a mentor in at this stage, and they may take profit share because you don't have cash flow or money. They may do a joint venture. They may bring in seed capital. Absolutely, a mentor could be a nanny. Absolutely. What else? What's another possibility at this point? A manager would be a very good option at this point, because you want to share the load, right? You're not getting any sleep. The baby's pooping all night. It's crying. You're tired. And the baby's demanding your attention. You're doing your 100 hours a week and you're tired. So what do? You share the load. Sometimes we're lucky and the baby gets so big that we need someone else to help us manage it. And then it grows into a toddler, which is this stage here. Now, in a toddler stage, what do we teach our baby? Pooping's not good. Use the toilet, right? Don't poop. And we grow that. Our expectations from that baby grow. Does that make sense? Okay. Is this making sense to everybody, the baby analogy? Okay. Because at this stage, we're no longer at your beck and call. We're not going to do anything and everything you ask for. You're going to start to learn some rules and some discipline. You're going to start doing stuff on your own. But when it starts to walk, we're behind it, go, oh, come on, oh, that's good. And it falls over, and what do we do? Leave it there? Or do we encourage it to get up?
Encourage it to get up.
Right. What do we do in business when it falls over? We leave. We give up. It can't be. I failed. Okay? Get up. You're only a toddler. It's okay. Are you still breathing? Do you still have the passion? Do you still have the market segment that you're after? Yes, you might have gone the wrong direction, but you've done your risk assessment. You've got your vision. You've got your purpose. You've got your capital. You're starting to get your system. But this is what keeps us going. This is what keeps us going. Passion, purpose, vision, idea. Make sense? Okay. Then we go to the next beautiful stage of life, the adolescent. Okay? But before this is a transition where we manage by crisis. We've created problems now. We're walking, where's my child? Oh, gosh, I'm in the shop. Where's it gone? And because they've gone wandering. They've got their own space now, their own sense of self. They're off. They're wandering around. And they used to be right here beside you because they needed you. And now they're experimenting. So we're creating some crisis. Our business walks and talks on its own. That's a pretty interesting concept, isn't it? That it's actually separate to us now. That it's something that other people can see, identify with, and deal with. At this stage, you've got a management team. You need a management team. In the toddler, adolescent stage, you need a management team because it's too big to do on your own. That's why we have schools. We send our kids to school. Here, take them to the next level because we cannot fill the needs of our children anymore once they get to the stage of inquiry, when they're walking, talking, and they're mobile. The business still relies on you for all the core decisions, though, because you're still driving it. Because it's your money, it's your vision, it's your passion. But everything is accelerated. It's happening faster, and things are starting to work. You're getting critical mass, customers are coming, stocks coming in, cash flow's pretty good. But it's still a concern because you're growing, you're putting everything back in the business, because as your demand grows, your inventory grows. As your distribution grows, your costs grow. So at this point, you're still funding the business. Your lifestyle's not there yet. Right, then we get to this wonderful, wonderful stage. Who knows of the dot-com era in the 90s? Yeah, okay. What happened in the dot-com era in the 90s? You got kids with skateboards and PlayStations set up in warehouses, and big companies were throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month at them. For what? For development of something that the generation that had the money didn't know how to do. We talked about Generation Y yesterday. This is what new business concepts are about. This is where you groundbreak the market. A teenage business is a runaway, tearaway train. You cannot control them. The CEO still makes all the decisions. They control everything. But that person can change their mind. They go over here. It's like an entrepreneur on steroids because they've got cash flow. They've got massive amounts of money just to throw around. There's no accountability. And it's very, very easy to make decisions because I've got the money. I want to do this. Okay, let's go and do that. Oh, no, wait a minute, I want to go there. Let's go and buy this. Let's do that. And the business is out of control. It's got no system, no structure. At this point, it's losing its passion because it's meeting another need. It's now about growth. It's about significance. It's about money. And it's no longer about the purpose and the passion because it's about the bigger picture of growth and what we can become. At this point, we've developed a brand. So we're getting market traction. Well, I don't know what the next one says. Domain name. Oh, you've got to have a domain name by this point. And your idea is still there, but it's not so clear because there's so many other opportunities. You've got so much money, you've got so much choice. And who's got a teenager? Okay. What does be home at 9 o'clock mean? Which day? Okay? Or I'll be home half past. Half past what? Whatever. Okay. Can I have some money? Why? I haven't got any. So everything's abundant, right? It just happens. It's all okay. And this is what the teenage business does. The teenage business generally is one that is attractive to a bank or a financier because it's got cash flow. The reason why teenage businesses often fail, now this is around the 3 to 5 year mark, they fail because of lack of the purpose, vision, structure, systems. And it's all about the CEO, it's all about the boss, it's all about the my way or the highway. And you attract, at this point, a lot of other entrepreneurs. You attract people who are like-minded. So what happens when everyone's like-minded in the same company? What happens? You can end up with everybody doing the same thing. So if one department's crashing, the other department will be crashing because they're following the model. And this is where these things collapse in a big heap. That's why only I think 1% of the dot-com businesses that was backed actually made it. Because, and these are your Googles, your Facebooks, what was the other big one? Yahoo, yeah. And these guys, you know, and the CEOs of the companies that were backing them would walk in and say, well, why is everyone sitting around in jeans, and why you got a basketball hoop, and why were you riding skateboards all over the place? Oh, we're getting creative. It was a totally different way of doing business, but they couldn't control them. When they did work, they worked. When they didn't, they went down in a big heap. Okay, so then we get to the young adult. And the young adult is where we anticipate the future. We have an idea of the road ahead now because we've come through the growth phase. We're starting to get refocused because we've gone through this turmoil. We've gone through this turbulence of, uh-oh, gee, we nearly didn't make it. We had to scrounge here. We hit the wall. And now we have to structure. We have to understand what made us go right, what made us go right. And let's repeat that. Because when we look for what's wrong, what will we find? Okay. Does that show you what's right? Is that solution focused? It can if you are solution focused. But if you are asking a question of what is wrong, like you'll see everything wrong. And when I ask you what's right, you'll say, oh, hang on, I never thought about that. Because we are only looking for what went wrong. We make more committed choices. We plan a little bit more. We have this, at this point, our systems, our structures have to be in place. And our plan really, really is in action now. If we don't have a plan, we can't succeed. You've heard the saying, you know, what's it? Failing to plan is planning to fail, okay? This is more critical at this point than ever. You're using a lot more money. You're using all your resources. You're making committed decisions. You're doing things in larger volume. It is really more about limiting your focus. You're saying, right, the 80-20 rule you've heard many times. In my business, I had a car parts business. I was doing a number of brands. I said, then I cut it down to 2 brands. Then I cut it down to only a couple of makes within the brands because I worked out that that's where, what do the people want? Those brands. What did I do? Go and got it and gave it to them. Because those models were the only models within the brand that were selling at the retail end. And I was very fortunate because I was in second hand that the stats from 8 years ago, and my market was 5 to 8 years old, so stats from 5 to 8 years ago, I could see what was selling. I'd go and buy it. Everyone say, you're stupid, you're paying too much for these cars, you can't make money. I made the money because I had the stock. What did they have? They thought I was in the fad. I had the stock, so what happens? I get the market, I get the business. Can you corner a market? In your business, can you corner a market? Not all, maybe you can. In this case, I could. There's only 3 places to buy the cars. I could go to every one of them every week because I made a focus, I had money, I had commitment, and I had purpose. And even if I didn't think I'd make money, I still bought it because it stopped someone else from having it, and so I would make money, right? So you can do reverse blocking as well, where you can corner a market. That's a totally different topic. You really have a focus on systems at this point because you are dealing with so much money. You're dealing with such volume. and such area of distribution that if you don't have controls, you've got a financial person involved now, you've got a legal, you've got all the structure that Warren talked about earlier, because that's now, at this point now, you are becoming, what Warren was talking about, you're becoming vulnerable. Now you are an entity at the young adult, because you are now something that has traction. You're something that's got value. You're something that people can target, as Warren was talking about. You redefine what is success, and you start looking at longer term success goals. Because at this point, there is, to this point, it's been, let's get some more money. Let's do this, let's do that. And they're all short term. Now you're looking at long term. What are we going to be? How are we going to structure? How are we going to survive? What divisions are we going to open? What facilities, locations will we need? What structure, what staff, what numbers, what skill sets do we need? And you settle down and you get a bit serious, just like any teenager, right? Your teenager area and your young adult, about 20, 21, when do kids settle down? I didn't settle down until I was about 40, but most of the time, kids will settle down around the 20, 21, 22 stage. We call, you're an adult at 18, but really 21, you start to have the experiences that, you know, you can't just speed through every red light, and you can't crash cars, you can't drink drive, and all the authorities and everything's already caught up with you, and you say, oh, I better change, otherwise it's going to be the continuous pattern. Same in the business. You know, pattern of trouble, or you can have a pattern of growth. Which would you prefer? Right. So if you know and you make decisions and you don't act like a teenager and a young adult, and you become a mature adult, what's your life going to be like? Yeah. Yeah, and this is what I'm noticing with these younger kids coming through now. They have got maturity beyond their years at a young age, the successful ones. I am really, really impressed with what's happening in society, because our future is very, very safe while these kids have got this maturity. They have got an ability. When I went to school, if you put your hand up and said, I'm better than you were beat up. Now, these kids stand up and say, I'm fantastic, I am awesome. And they go, yeah, you are. Hey? Who's going to say that? I am awesome. Stand up, stand up. Okay, so no one else can hear you, all at once say, I am awesome.
I am awesome.
Thank you, and you are. Take a seat. At this point, this is the zone of maximisation of our business now. We're ready to corporatise. We're ready to take on shareholders. We're at the prime. We are like Coca-Cola. We're like McDonald's at this point. We may not be on that scale, but we are that in the zone. This is our zone of maximisation. The money going through is coming out, and it's coming out at the right place. It's coming out to you. It's coming out to invest back into the business or growth or new businesses. This is the point where we are a standalone adult. We're ready to get married, have children, start our lives again, right? Does that make any sense to you? That this business is now ready to have its own children. How's that feel?
Right.
Awesome. All right. We're reaping the rewards. We'll develop systems of management and the business that allows the consistently meet the needs. We'll go back to that other slide if I can. Dan? Can I have that earlier slide, please? Consistently meet the needs of the community you serve and yourself in a sustainable way. Because this is about, you heard yesterday about community, right? When you're in a business, in my world, you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to the business, to the community as well. This is a slide on stats of failed businesses. It comes from America. The stats in Australia are really hard to get. That shows that 42% of businesses in real estate, finance and insurance fail over 4 or 5 years. Information fails at a 67% rate. Oh, sorry, not 67. What's that, 37? I can tell I'm good at maths. 67, isn't it? 67% rate. Why would information fail before a real estate business? Well, my theory is that information become obsolete very quickly, and also the demand for real estate is driven more. There's more demand, so it's more drive. the demand for information is not so strong. Would you agree? So when you're choosing your business, have a look at what your risk is, what's the competitors, where's the market, what's the volume. Look at the stats. Be technical as well as idealistic about what you're choosing. In Australia, I believe it's about 50% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. We're up to about 7% in 7 years we're up to about 70%, and 7 to 10 years about 70% of businesses will fail. Now I'm out of time, so I've got to quickly go through this, I'm sorry. The business is run by a management team. The organisation knows who they are. This is your standalone, getting ready to have a family, what we'll do in the future, and sales and profits are growing. Then we have a midlife crisis. Our kids have left home, everything's fine, and something's gone wrong, and our mortgages, we can't meet our mortgage, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, I've retired. Now I've got to go back to work because I can't afford everything. It's because my lifestyle has outlived my wealth style. So what you do in this case is we're up here. This is our prime. Now we're here. What we have to do from this point is we have to come back to here. This is called reinvent or innovate. Thank you. Here's a quick slide to take some notes from. Things begin to break down. Uncertainty, random variables are prevalent. You evaluate whether to rejuvenate, continue, because at this point, that takes energy to go from there to there, doesn't it? And it takes a bit of innovation. This is where I get called into businesses, at this point. Sometimes at this point, because they need the structure to move here, but this is mostly where I get involved. So we look at what's good. We always look for what's good and what can be better. Okay? If you want to grow your business, when your child has a problem at 20 or 35 years old, do you say, "You naughty boy"? Or you say, "How can I help?" Okay? At this point, we're saying, "How can I help?" Too much money? Sorry, your debt's too high. Can't help you out. I've got no resource. Sorry, son, you have to go and find your own way. Or, you know what? I'm prepared to reinvest in you, and let's go and start again. Okay? The next stage after this is aged. Now, this is where we've retired, and the business, it's state of denial. No, there's no problem. It's all okay. I'm not in the office anymore, but they're telling me it's good. The reports look okay. What's wrong? There can't be anything too much wrong. Now I'm the victim. They did it to me. They told me it was okay. I gave you my money and you wasted it. Huh? Who's accountable all the time? Who's accountable?
Ourselves.
Right. Because we are awesome. Okay. Because if we give our responsibility away, what happens? We give away our power. We give away all our control. We've given away our idea. We've given away our vision, our passion. We've already lost it at this point because we are so satiated with success. And then you begin to attack others and you're telling the people, say, well, I'm still working as hard as I ever did. You're not here. You're not giving direction. You're not doing what you used to do. The business is falling apart. You won't take advice from me. I'm leaving. And you end up with a GM, with money institutions in America, that you become like in an aged care home now. You're now lost control and you're institutionalised. You rely on government handouts. You rely on people to... Have you got the institution slide? And you are only living through artificial... You might go and bring on a young investor, suck someone in to say, hey, this was a good business once, give me some money. The bank manager might be a good mate, and he's going to throw you some extra money. But in reality, the business is basically dead. It needs innovation, and without innovation, it will die. So leaving you on a positive note, know your strengths and know your story and your purpose. If you know your strengths, you know your story, you know your purpose, you will have a greater chance of success. And how many people do you see that can't dance, think they can dance, can't sing, think they can sing, but they have a good time doing it? Yeah. And do they believe in themselves? Yeah. So compared to what, can't they do it? compared to our version. Their version's fine, right? So let's run our own version of dancing and singing in our own business and succeed. Because if you've got belief, you've got passion, you've got drive, you've got purpose, you can't fail. I promise you, you can't fail. You'll just keep getting up. You'll be that toddler. Keep getting up. Because you can't fail. As long as you've got air and oxygen in your lungs. Now, my strategy is grow slowly. Grow as slowly as you can. Because if you grow fast and you have an issue, you are going to wipe yourself out quickly. Once you've got everything organised, structured, you don't promise what you can't deliver. Okay? Get in, grow slowly, systemise structure, move on. Then grow and expand. And then you can expand quickly because you've got a base, you've got a system. The quality of the questions you ask, and that will, my questions I ask, what don't I see? What's happening that I'm not aware of? I'm always assessing risk. First question, all the time, no matter how successful the business is, what can't I see? What's going on that I don't know about? And I use a massive resource of network to find out what's happening. I don't have to know it. I get people to collect it and give it to me. Because people love to gossip, don't they? What's the best, if you're in retail, what's the best way to find out what's going on? Ask a rep. They're the best pollinators out. In your industry, you've got stats, you've got suppliers, you'll find a way to feed information back to you of what else is going on, what other people are doing. You've got to have a passion for purpose. If it's for money, forget it, because money will come. Money will come. When I started my business that became successful quickly, I didn't do it for money, because I had money. I didn't need any more money. I was okay. I was retired at 37. And I thought, oh, well, my wife said, you better do something. Get out of the house. But I wanted to be at home. I love you, darling. Yeah. I love you too when you're at work. Unfortunately, now I work from home, but when I'm home. So find a passion and money will come. I promise you, if you listen to what people want, go and get it and give it to them, money will come. The story. Story. Please share your story. That's your passion, that's your drive, that's why you're there, right? Yeah. And sometimes you need to change your story. Change your story from victim to awesome. How would you like that? All right, I'll finish up now. Add value. Please add value. If you cannot add value, you don't have a business. It's as simple as it gets. Be solution focused, match the market needs, innovate, measure and modify. If you don't innovate and you don't measure, you can and modify because it's continuing. What is business? It's doing something, not done something. Okay? All right, I hope I've added some value to you today, and I hope you had some fun, and thank you very much for putting up with me.
Thank you very much, Simon.